So this podcast doesn't focus on finance so much, but it is important in the broader narrative of future of work because many of us are not going to be the corporate person who puts in 40 years at one company. Hardly anybody does that anymore. That was our parents and grandparents' generation. Now, you might be in a job that you're like, meh, it's okay. It's paying the bills. It's putting food on the table. And you may decide to do a side hustle, to try something else out, or maybe several. And those things take money. And so I guess my question to you is, um, how do we apply the wealth narrative to something that may not be about making money? I want to go out and create a local service that uh, does good, that provides a social noble purpose to the community. I'm not going to make a lot of money at it, but I do need my own wealth to help me build this thing. Or I might need the idea of building wealth to create a side hustle or several. And I want to add one other thing to this, Angela, which is people who are in uh, core sustainability type jobs or corporate social responsibility, maybe the idea of earning money and making wealth doesn't necessarily register high, because when you say wealth to somebody who's involved in things like that, they bristle. They were like, I'm not a plutocrat. I don't want to make a lot of bucks. But why do we have to look at money in a positive vein if we want to do something for a noble purpose?
I know. And I get that too, Dan. You sometimes you just have a message or a limited character to make, amount to make a post. And on occasion, I'll get someone that's like, I'm not interested in being a millionaire. That's not my thing. And you, when we look at the math, if you stop working at 75 years old, because some people say, oh, I'm going to work till the day I die. Well, my grandma is about to turn 95. She's definitely not going to work. But she has a little investment thing going on that my family draws out of to pay for her part-time in-home care assistant. So what you need to understand is that working until the day you die, there could still be 10, 20 years in between when you stop working and the day you actually die. And how is that going to look in your
Right.
life? How are you going to afford your health care? How are you going to afford your electric bill? What is going to happen? Where are you going to live? And so we often turn the other cheek and don't really want to look at aging until we go through it with our parents, or we see our parents going through it with their parents. It starts to turn us on a little bit and us realize that, wow, unless something happens and I'm taken from this world tomorrow at a young age, this is what's ahead that I need to prepare for. Uh, so it really there's that part in terms of how much you actually need to just take care of your own self and not be a burden to your family. There's been studies that have asked people, what are your fears about aging? I don't want to be a burden to my family.
Right.
That's one of the biggest fears. So there's that. And the other is when when you have done a job for a certain amount of time, or you're moving into years where you have, like you said, we have these choices, and we're comfortable, we live in homes and have our cars, and we have these choices and we want to make a greater impact. Not having any money is, you're not going to go very far. You do need to have money in order to do that one to many, that this, you are offering a service or you're trying to put something together. The money really, really helps you serve more people faster, create more impact. And so it's really just about that perception that we have about money. And it goes back to some of the things that happened to us when we were kids. Is it the root of all evil? Are you 50 years old and still actually walking around at a subconscious level believing that money is the root of all evil and that rich people are greedy? And because I bet you that the people who have that knee jerk reaction to, oh, I don't want any money, and they shun money, it's because they have a certain relationship with it that isn't necessarily positive and uplifting. And though that's actually a huge portion of what I work with my clients is looking at their beliefs and their perceptions about money and helping them shift them, because it really is a neutral tool, a wonderful tool that we can use to help ourselves and help the world and our communities.